Hey everyone, happy new year. The whole gang's here. Got Zach
Yes.
Gilday, who's been working throughout the morning. He's been tracking this storm. Josh was on last night, and I'm back from a little time off. So
Yes.
little weather break, and it looks like the weather's coming in full steam today.
Yes, sir. And guys, the morning of stratus and fog really burned off fast.
Yeah, it really did. He was talking about fog. There was a dense fog advisory. That's a sign that we've got that humidity. Let's dive into this. There's a lot to cover with this severe weather risk. First of all, it's very sunny outside, as we'll see from some of our WeatherBug network cameras. Now the cloud cover starting to roll in. And as a matter of fact, we already got some activity that's popping up on Heil Heating Cooling Mega Doppler. In fact, we're looking off to the southwest, and there you see some storms already starting to pop up. So don't be fooled. Cloud cover is going to be rolling in pretty quick. This is one of the concerns that we were talking about all night last night when we were doing this update, Josh, is how much thunderstorm activity will be popping up before what we call the main event, before the main instability, the moisture, and the wind shear starts to develop.
Yeah, because those favorable parameters are not going to be in place until right around dinner time. And any of those thunderstorms that form before that point could sap our atmosphere quite a bit and be our saving grace potentially.
That's right. Saving grace, lessen the severe weather threat. It's still there. I know you've been watching that as well, tracking the storms. You looked at the radar this morning. There's absolutely nothing on there.
There was nothing. And the models yesterday were hinting at some rain, but we didn't get any of that.
Yeah. So that right there just makes you think, okay, well, we got to take this, hour by hour and look at the risk. So, yeah, there is essentially the thunderstorm activity that's popping up to the southwest. There's already a severe thunderstorm warning east of Pine Bluff. So that shows you how quickly these storms can evolve and develop. But let's take a look at the individual risks. So here is the area of greatest confidence, which is almost basically the entire state of Arkansas that's under an enhanced risk. That's a pretty high risk. It's going to be updated at 2 o'clock. So we'll take a look at the latest risk at 2 o'clock. But I do believe that thunderstorms will be cranking up later on this afternoon into the evening, and we'll show you that future radar as well. So we zoom in. There it is. All hazards possible, starting as early as 2 o'clock. That's going to be more of the elevated storm activity, meaning not necessarily surface-based. The tornado potential won't be as great. You can kind of see how some of the adjustments took place. One of the things is that risk has really expanded farther west.
It has.
No doubt.
That slight risk is way further west. Yesterday, Tulsa was on the edge of the marginal.
Yeah.
And now it's firmly in the slight risk for severe weather. So, and you remember the day 3 convective outlook too. Actually, let's go as far back as day 6 because they issued a severe weather risk for this system as far back as day 6. And most of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley was not in a risk at all.
Yeah.
Then the day 3 risk comes out. You see that most of Northwest Arkansas is under a marginal or slight risk. We're getting clipped by that enhanced risk. As more data came in, it became apparent that the trends were further and further north and west. And we've seen that come to fruition today with that day 1 convective outlook.
So the GFS was kind of too fast all along, right?
Yes, way too fast.
So that just shows you right there that because the trends of it slowing down, the uncertainty was from the long-range models, the GFS not showing this system, slowing down. It was coming in too fast. Now that it's slowed down, the trends have changed. The risk has shifted west. So let's take a look at the individual threats here on this. So there is a look at we're going to look at the tornado potential, and you'll notice that the medium threat, and not only that, but the hatched area, which is the potential for strong to violent tornadoes, the EF2 to EF5, is in the River Valley and extends almost as far north as Fayetteville. Let's zoom in and show some of the areas that could be impacted by this. Now, before we zoom in on this, I got to let you know, don't just look at the contours and say we're in the brown, we have low, so we don't have any tornado potential. There are things that could limit the tornado potential. We'll go through that, but it just means the amount of storms will be less in that area. And remember, it only takes one storm to bring problems. That's all it takes is one storm. So if that storm happens to tornado in that low probability area, well, guess what? It wasn't as low of a threat as you thought.
April 21st, 1996.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or especially the March 30th tornado in Springdale last year, 2022. So we're working our way south. You can see that extends into central Washington County, Madison County, Newton County. All of the River Valley is under the threat. So that's something that we definitely have to watch. And The significant is an area that's reserved for an environment that's absolutely ripe for severe weather. Now, you step out the door, you can tell the atmosphere is ripe for severe weather. Here's looking west-southwest, and you can see the clouds that are starting to roll in. But at the same time, boy, we had a lot of sunshine. Clouds are really starting to become a little more vertically developed.
Yeah, that was something that the models did not pick up on very well yesterday. And Zach, you talked about how they were showing that morning convection potentially here in Northwest Arkansas. Not only that, they were showing a lot of cloud cover, and we didn't see a lot of that at all.
morning stratus burned off so fast.
Yeah, it was like a snap of the finger, and it's just gone.
Starting at like 5 a.m. Clouds
Yeah.
were starting to burn off.
Let's we could show something here. We can let's do a time lapse.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
let's
in the
go.
meantime, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to zoom in on Mega Doppler, and we're going to show you that these storms are popping up. Now, you'll see the storm motions. They're moving north-northeast. We talked about this in extensively yesterday. That the storm motions, in my opinion, from what I've seen in terms of all of our tornado research, is it's not perfectly favorable for tornadoes. Now, I know you're like, well, wait a minute, but the SPC has a hatched area for tornadoes. Tornadoes can still happen. I'm just saying that as far as a long track tornado potential, with the type of motions that are currently in place and with the expected shear, now remember that could change, the storm motion could change, but I just think that maybe the tornado potential with that storm motion isn't quite as high as it appears.
Yeah, it's not favorable unless you get some storms that take a little bit more of an easterly component.
Like a deviant motion, meaning they
Yes.
move more east northeasterly instead of north northeast. Because we can go through all the critical angle stuff. We did that yesterday on our Facebook Live. We could still do that, but let's just give you kind of the details on the timing and the threat. So here's the time lapse, and not much fog there in Northwest Arkansas in the Fayetteville area, but look at P Ridge.
Yeah.
So P Ridge is going to be a lot, let's just say a lot cloudier to start the morning. In fact, they had dense fog. So let's see here.
So I'm going to adjust the time just a little bit here. Let's go.
Yeah,
to
so we'll go back
6:40
to-
a.m.
It was a red sky this morning too, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
It was.
Yeah, the red sky in
So
the
look-
morning.
Now you see the
Look at the dew.
The dew.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now that's not rain that fell.
Nope.
That was because of the dew point temperature.
The pavement sweat too, not too long ago. Yeah, not a lot of fog there either.
Down there in Fort Smith, there was some fog.
Oh, there definitely was in Fort Smith. Yeah, go to that one. Go to the Fort Smith WeatherBug Network camera.
It's
That-
kind of crazy how quickly that cumulus field went up, though.
Yeah.
And you could see that happening in real time. But let's do Fort Smith here.
Someone saying critical angles are not very still good either. No, they're really actually not. The critical angle is not very favorable for tornado potential. People are like, well, you don't want it to be favorable for tornadoes. Exactly. No, but when you're forecasting, you want to make sure. Let's see this here. Now, see, that was a little bit more.
Maybe let me go back just maybe to 5 a.m.
Because I saw it and I saw the airport report fog as well. So yeah, you can see that
You can see
moisture
it in there.
surging northward, but it wasn't super foggy. Now it was in southwest Missouri. And as you said, there was a lot of fog in
Ooh.
Boone County too.
See the tail end of that time lapse there.
Yeah,
Comes
watch the
as-
clouds starting to roll in and darken up, and rightfully so, because here comes the storms. Now
Mhm.
you're seeing these storms, they're not surface based. They're not
Elevated.
going to be severe. Now they might be severe, but they're not going to be surface based. The ingredients aren't quite all there for tornado potential. So Washburn, it was foggy. So yeah, Southwest Missouri, exactly, Evan. You said it was foggy in Rogers this morning too. So there were some spots that definitely saw the fog. There's no doubt about that. Wasn't quite super widespread though. Okay, so to go back to this, we go back to the risk. Let's do the timing because people are wondering about the time. We're about 10 minutes in. We haven't really showed the timing of these storms according to the latest computer models with that information. Let's do also the
SIGTOR.
yeah, we'll do that
We'll
after
do
we
that
look
after
at look at the timing. So we'll kind of step through this. This is the graph model. This is a proprietary model to us, and so it doesn't really show a whole lot of development south. So
And remember, this is the latest one too. So this is at 12 o'clock. This is at the current time, and I mean it's doing an
And-
okay job.
and you go to Mega Doppler and you can see the storms that are popping up.
Yeah. It's doing better than the HRRR. Now look
Yeah.
at that. Look at 2 o'clock. You already got a storm right
Right.
there that's moving through the area. That's could sap the environment
Yep.
a little bit.
Exactly. So we move along in time, and maybe that storm's not as strong because it doesn't tap into that instability, that fuel that's available because of the other storms.
Mhm.
And then we move along, and you can see that storm moves out. Now, at this point, if we're in the lower to middle 60s, that's going to be the end of that severe weather potential. At the same time, look at the River Valley. River Valley is still upper 60s, lower 70s. So with that, that's warmer, that's more fuel, that's thunderstorm activity, and probably as this energy swings in, you're going to see more storms start to blossom, and there they are. And you can also see a storm. Now that looks
That's
pretty
kidney bean
wicked.
shape. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks pretty wicked. So if you're going back to the time, kind of go just step through that. Yeah, frame by frame. You can also use this button right here, which is really nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that just goes step by step. So there's 5 o'clock. So people are wondering what time are these storms going to move in? That's still a question that remains, as there always is, that potential.
Now, like if you're talking like rainfall, we could have rainfall as early as 2 o'clock
Yeah.
in a lot of locations. But in terms of the severe weather risks, that doesn't really ramp up until around dinner time, 5 o'clock and beyond, because that's when the best parameters start coming into place. But these storms that form before that will likely just pose a hail and gusty wind threat. I think they'll be highly elevated.
So let's look at the oh, by the way, you have a SIG Tour extended. Let's do just the
Yeah.
SIG Tour on the normal HRRR if you have it
I might not
loaded.
have it in mind because I was using that yesterday.
And people are mentioning the sun is going crazy. So you don't want sunshine on a severe weather day. A lot of people don't realize that, but you don't want the sun because that's fueling the atmosphere. That's building up. Kind of attribute it to turning on the stove. If you want
Yeah.
to boil the water, what do? You turn on the burner. The sun is turning on the burner and it's boiling the water. So the sun is out in full force, but it's not going to be for long. Those clouds are rolling in and it's coming in quick.
That is a perfect way to describe it, really.
So yeah, tornado. Let's see, a mesoscale discussion is out, and there will likely be a tornado watch coming out, but it's just a little south of
Ooh.
us.
Man, dude, that's SIG Tour. Right at 5 o'clock.
Oh,
It
yeah.
ramps up.
That ramps up.
Okay,
bad.
we'll show you that as well. So watch issuance 60%. While somewhat meridional, southerly deep layer wind field across exhibits increasing flow, the resulting ample shear, gradual strengthening of the flow with time. Yeah, so they're questioning the shear too. The shear is very what we call meridional, which is south to north. But that does include the river valley. Let me show you this area here. So I don't know if you know this, but we've got on. That's not a data set, but we go to here to wind. Let me go back to our StreamYard here, make sure that we've got that on. So here's the wind threat, damaging wind threat. That also includes Northwest Arkansas. That's going to be from the line coming through. Hail is probably the lesser threat. But if we look at that, where that potential tornado watch is going to be issued, it's going to be, I know I added this. Let's see here. Hearing something beep back there.
So that,
I don't
production
think
room.
it's, yeah, but that usually means a watch is has been issued. We'll see. We'll know as soon as a watch is issued. But let me go to data sets and then we'll look at the mesoscale discussion here. Oh, you don't have it loaded. That's why.
yeah, this is
Okay. So hold on just a sec. Stand by. Mesoscale discussion is something that the Storm Prediction Center has talked about, and they have an area outlined for a potential watch that's coming out here within 1 to 2 hours.
There it is.
And so there is that mesoscale discussion area, which includes Scott County. It's mainly to our southwest. Now, the reason that they're not going any higher than 60% for that watch is you look at the radar and there's a ton of stuff that's popping up in that watch area. So we'll have to be watching out for that. So Brooke has asked you a question. Kids will want to be dropped off at 3 p.m. for a movie in Rogers. Will it be safe? There's going to be thunderstorms, but everything doesn't really start ramping up tornado wise, in my opinion, until about 6, 7 o'clock, 5, 6, 7 o'clock. Now, Josh was showing this.
Yep,
This is the very latest, what we call significant tornado parameter. You're going to see here, starts building in. So there's 3 o'clock. Notice how it's still west. That's because the storms haven't really fully matured yet. Then the energy swings in, and then right around 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. So literally about 5 hours from now to 6 hours from now, things are going to be getting a little stormy.
And look at the River Valley at around 8
Oh
o'clock.
yeah, wow.
That is
Some reds in there.
dark red.
Yeah. And it still remains too. That's why our time window is going all the way through about midnight now. And then it finally shifts east. So I think this could be a potentially significant day. There's no doubt about it. Check out the updraft helicity on the Texas Tech WRF. Let's do that. That's a great idea. So Texas Tech has our WRF model.
Honestly, I just call it the Weisel model.
The Weisel,
You
yeah.
know, we have the Riley index and with the stuff that he does with KDP and everything. And now this is just the Weisel model.
So we can look at updraft helicity. Oh yeah. Wow, that is a bullseye. Okay, so I'll share this here in just a second, show you what we're looking at. All right, so we're gonna go to StreamYard. We're gonna go to so yeah, Mansfield. You guys really need to watch in the River Valley for real. This is pretty interesting here. But so this is the model that Josh Weisel, my weather intern, was wanting us to check out. And what this is showing is the hourly updraft helicity tracks. I can't zoom in anymore, unfortunately, but I can mimic it. So I can zoom in this way, the old-fashioned way.
Hack it.
Yeah. So there you see those updraft helicity tracks. Perfect. And I can still get this too. Now look at what happens in the River Valley.
That ain't good.
That is not good. You know what is good though is our weather camera from Mount Magazine
It's right there.
is going to be right there. So we'll be looking west from Mount Magazine, which is right at this location, if that supercell tracks. Now this time right here is 8 o'clock in the evening. So the helicity track from 7 to 8 o'clock in the evening is showing that storm coming through, and then you can see it moving out. So there it is. Notice how it really doesn't have much over northwest Arkansas, but it does have that over Sequoia County. So,
and that could be because of the morning precip.
And remember, this is just a model. But, we got that activity right now.
Yeah.
And it doesn't show any of those updraft helicities because there's just not, the shear's not in place yet. So that's really interesting right there. If we look at, we'll go to models weather bell, we'll look at the HRRR, we'll look at the updraft helicity tracks. There we go. And we'll go to severe weather. And we'll zoom in on this so you can see. There you go. So this is the overall all-time helicity tracks. Boy, it sure is nailing something that's coming through north central Arkansas, also maybe a little bit in northwest Arkansas and River Valley. Scott County, Logan County, LaFleur County, you guys need to be watching this system closely during the evening tonight. So,
Big time.
yeah. Now that shear may back up just a little bit more, and we might be able to see that. So I definitely want to do that.
And the thing with the updraft helicity too, it's doesn't mean that there's going to be a tornado in that exact spot. Really, you just look for the trends in that general area where the chance for tornadoes is a little bit greater.
Yeah. So here's to sum up everything again. So what we're going to do is. So this just kind of sums up everything. We've got storms that are rolling in right now already into the River Valley. In fact, let's look at our WeatherBug Network camera from Fort Smith here.
Right there.
And there you go. Look at that.
Yep.
It was sunny. Now it's totally cloudy. And one thing I am noticing is that, according to the latest trends, these storms are going to miss northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, that is right. They're going to stay south unless that activity
back builds.
back builds, yeah, which it could, which is what the graph was showing.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't miss all of Northwest Arkansas. It's that, maybe it probably is going to clip Eastern Washington County. Carroll County will be in that. Jamie, just to let you know, I'm watching Carroll County real close because my wife and daughter are in Eureka Springs. So
Yeah.
let's just say that I've got Carroll County covered, and I'm watching that real closely, Jamie. So, I got everywhere covered, but especially Carroll County.
That's precious
Eureka-
cargo.
Eureka Springs, yeah, I got precious cargo there. We're having a spa day, relaxing while we're covering severe weather and storms and tornadoes.
Yeah,
So,
you came back with a bang.
man,
just
for sure,
boom.
for sure. Well, we're going to be ready to rock and roll. And so, just to sum up again, thunderstorms moving into the River Valley right now. They could become severe warned. Don't think they're going to be significant though until this afternoon and evening. So right now we're 2:30. We're talking late afternoon.
Yeah.
4, 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. Then as we move into about 7, I think that's the sweet spot for tornado potential between 6 to 8 in the evening.
Yep.
River Valley is going to be a little bit dicey with those storms right around 7, 8 o'clock. If there's isolated supercells, we're going to have to watch out for that. We will do another Facebook Live with the newest risk that gets issued at 2 o'clock.
Absolutely.
So I don't think they'll go moderate just because of the uncertainty as the amount of coverage. The tornado potential is possible in Fayetteville, but there is that limiting factor with the storm motions. I think the storm motions are not going to line up perfectly with tornado potential.
Yes, and the shear profiles also don't favor a lot of
Yeah.
deviant supercells either.
So we'll have to see how that works. And to put that in, kind of terms maybe you can understand is if the storms are moving northeast and they don't turn and move more easterly, that will be less of a tornado risk. If they start moving more easterly or the wind shear backs a little more than expected, then the storms could still be moving northeast. But you don't typically see major severe weather tornado outbreak with meridional winds and the storm motions moving the same direction as that. It's just not that big turning of the winds with height.
Yeah, the potential for messy storm modes too.
Yeah.
That's always a possibility, though. And we've already seen it this morning. Already some surprises.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think sunny, very warm already.
Very humid. What's the
Very
dew
humid.
points?
In the
Let's see
lower
what those
60s,
are.
Most locations.
So low 6 is very muggy outside. You step out
Oh,
the
yeah.
door and you can feel it.
I mean, are we in January?
It
feels
feels-
like spring.
It does. It feels like a severe weather day. Now look at the dew points in Russellville, 65.
65.
And if we zoom out just a little bit more, we'll look at the regional dew points. And I'm thinking
It's
we got,
surging.
man, it
Be a
is
lot higher
surging
down
quick.
there.
That's coming here.
What's going on with Little Rock?
Got a hole.
A Bulls. Is that where Colby Ward is?
That's the Colby effect.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Good explanation right there.
57 in Tahlequah, 66 in Stigler, and we still have those strong southerly winds too.
Yeah, and it was crazy because I was looking at the 5-minute obs. Zach and I noticed this too. Temperatures early this morning were in the upper 50s, and as soon as those southerly winds cranked in, it went from 58 to 70 in a flash.
Yeah, super fast.
Yeah.
And even I think Poto this morning
Mhm.
was like 68 degrees,
Oh my goodness,
like at like 6:30.
that's just
That's
amazing.
pretty warm.
In January too.
Yeah.
Which yesterday we tied record highs as well at Drakefield and in Fort Smith Regional.
It was a nice day.
Yeah.
People are saying, "Hey, Colby is like, hi."
Hi. Now this right here, that's our true saving grace.
Yeah.
Is Colby Ward.
Let us know where you're at so we can remove the storm chances there.
That's why they stopped the 10% SIG tour, right?
Wait, what is
Yeah,
the Colby
Greenville.
effect?
Oh, yeah, you gotta let them know.
Oh.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna show you something that does make me a little concerned with the tornado potential, and I'll show you something that usually works
So-
pretty good.
Long story short, Zach, the Colby effect is basically like a bubble around Fayetteville where storms either fall apart or split or do some wacky things, right? It's really, you can't explain it unless you point your finger at Colby, because that is the one factor and that's the one constant when it comes to these storms falling apart, is that Colby Ward is there. I've seen it on storm chases all the time. I've seen it happen here in Northwest Arkansas.
Gets a lot of flack.
It's a real thing. It's a real thing.
If the data shows it, it must be a thing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
There's a lot of times you can't describe why the storm weakened and died out. So this is something that I look at quite often on the European model. And this is called APRWX. And
It's
as
cranked
you'll
up.
see,
Yeah.
it's cranked up.
Yep.
And it's got it all over Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And then it moves east. Now, the previous run actually had a little bit more
Did it
over
really?
the River Valley. Yeah, watch.
Because yesterday it was not that impressive, but maybe this was the different run.
Or maybe actually it's gotten worse. Maybe I looked at the 24-hour. Let me look at the 24-hour real quick. Maybe that's what I did. Let that load. Hey, come on now.
Hey.
Now I'm on the wrong run. Oh. Current run. Archive run.
Being a bit weird.
There you go. Let's see if that loads now.
There we go.
Maybe.
It's
No.
kind of being trashy.
Yeah, it's not working.
That's
So I thought I know for a fact I saw red. on
yesterday.
there,
Yesterday it was like.
but it was red right here. It
It's
was a
red.
bullseye in the River Valley. So
Oh.
now it's changed. But still,
Yeah.
even though that's blue and green, that it works pretty well.
The fact
There's
that colors
tornado
are even showing up. Yeah, the colors are showing up shows the tornado risk is high.
And we got one more thing that we can look at too. So in the meantime, I'll remove this. I'll bring this up real quick. Hold on. This is pretty good. Have you ever seen this? Tornado target.
This is the greatest thing ever.
Tornado target. And we'll go here and we'll look at the whoa. Okay. So here's what I'm going to show you. Add this. This is called tornado target. Anything that's purple is tornado potential.
The
So
whole state.
basically it's everywhere. Now, if we look at the tornado consistency, let's see here. Current. It's not picking up on tornado tracks yet, nor is it picking up on tornado consistency. But because I think the domain has just changed. Let's look at updraft helicity. And so there's one right there.
Whoa.
Coming right through us just a few runs ago. So, all right. PC, let's make sure that there's no watches in effect. There's the mesoscale discussion, though, that we were talking about. Gradually increase with time. Boy, there's sure is a lot of storm activity down there in the River Valley, though. This is really cranking up in a major way. Look at that. Big time energy coming in. But that's all rain. That's cloud covering rain and storms. There's going to be lightning with it too, of course.
These will be some loud
Oh, yeah.
storms.
Yeah.
Some big boomers.
All right. So here's the deal. 12:30. We're going to reconvene at a little after 2. We'll do a Facebook Live with the latest risk. Zach, you'll probably be headed out though, because you had
Probably.
a long day. You've
Got to
been-
get up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or no,
1:30.
get some gains in.
Definitely. Hey,
or-
I'll be in the gym working hard when you guys are here.
All right, sounds good. Or nothing happens, or simply nothing happens. Josh Myers say, I know exactly.
Well, here's the thing too. One thing we know for sure: it's going to rain. There's going to be storms.
Yeah,
That's why we've got a 100% chance of rain in the forecast. The severe weather potential. It's the reason. That's the reason why we call it potential.
yeah.
Because it has the potential to do it. Whether
It's-
that happens or not is
remains to be seen.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, David had a good question. What about your new tornado prediction tool? So that's called the tornado detector.
Yep.
But just to let you know, it doesn't work until there's a storm that's producing a tornado. So it doesn't tell you several hours out in advance if there will be a tornado, but we have it right here. And we got it locked and loaded, ready to go. So once you see, there's obviously nothing on there right now, but if you see big white areas of what looks like debris, then that will be telling you that there is no doubt a tornado. So that is our new tool that we have, the tornado detector, which I have a feeling in the River Valley, especially, we might be using. So heads up, guys. We'll be watching closely. Larry will do the 8-ball at 2:00.
That's a better
Yeah,
idea.
yeah. Because we got a lot actually to do to get ready for this event. So because time's ticking here. So
Yep.
All right, guys. Take care. We'll see you with the newest risk that's updated at 2:00. And until then, have a great rest of your warm Monday. We'll see you.